Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Haley. I'm a cashless budgeting caregiver who's working in a relationship with finances as well as working towards financial freedom. Thank you for any new subscribers that are here, and welcome to all returning subscribers. As of right now, I believe we're 5 or so subs away from 700, so I really do appreciate you guys liking, commenting, subscribing, and even sharing any of my videos. It's all greatly appreciated. So, this hunk of mess here, I am going to go ahead and do a budget with me for my full and part-time in the first half of November. And I'm also going to go ahead and cash stuff, what I plan here, into my binders. Now, I was going to show you guys all of my, cash planning steps and how I work it out and figure it out. And quite honestly, ended up looking like this. I changed my mind so many different times and it was just a mess. So I am going to give a brief overview of how I do this. And again, it changes all the time, but a brief overview of how I do all this, and then just go into cash stuff in my binders. All right, cool. So, with that out of the way for the moment, and I believe you guys can see me. I'm going to double check though. Cool, you guys can see me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move binders real quick and go ahead and get to our budget for November. And in doing this, more than likely, depending on how long this video is, I'm just going to be doing my full-time for right now, and we'll get back to my part-time later because I actually did something different with this whole setup, aside from what numbers you guys see here. So, full-time budget with me, officially. So for this first check, my pen always starts so weird. Anyway. First full-time check of November, we have $1187.81, and with the difference, 10% of this and the difference I budget for tithes monthly, $214 went to tithes. Excuse me, if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse, I'm sorry. I was pet sitting for one of my friends this weekend, which I absolutely adore pets, don't get me wrong. It's just my allergies don't agree with me. So, yeah, I was coughing and sneezing, and she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's fine. I actually adore her pets, and she actually got a new kitten as well. I call the kitten Peppercorn because she's an all-black little just ball of fur. So, I enjoyed myself. It's just a struggle medicinally. Anyway, sorry if my voice sounds hoarse. If you hear me clear my throat, I'm sorry. All right. Student loans. I paid the budgeted $250, and they all now go to my one student loan. My Direct Plus loan is kind of weird, only having one line here, but I really do appreciate it a lot. All right, as far as household, I got to drop what goes to electric again for this month because we were, as you guys know, for the past 2-ish months, was adding more money to the bill to overpay to try to get it in the negatives or close to zero, so that every time we pay it, it'll be a little bit more in negatives. So we got to a point comfortably. Now we're still paying towards it, but don't have to pay towards it as aggressively. All right, so household bills came up to $345, which is $50 lower than my $395 I budgeted, which is amazing. Okay, personal bill, $35 as budgeted. Same with insurance. This $35 is for my pet insurance. Now, I have Pets Best. I'm not looking to really get a return on that right now, to be completely honest. I just got it because my dog's young, but his breed, okay, sorry for the truck noise in the background. His breed is prone to a lot of joint problems, and quite honestly, and don't get me wrong, can love family dearly. They don't listen to me when I tell them not to give him certain things, and so I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and plan for the unexpected, so then when it does show up, we'll be prepared. And also it's cheaper since he's younger, and I have a lower base starting point than others, both for his breed and for his age. So decided to do that. There were no other bills to pay towards this time. And then here, which would be a new line item that I'm trying out, and you guys will see it probably next week in my part-time as well. I decided, and this is from Darlene at the Dappled Budgeter. I will leave her channel down in the description below. What she does is when she receives her check, she does hers pre-tax. She takes a certain percentage of her pre-tax income and sends that to a savings account, which is serving as her emergency fund. She doesn't call it emergency fund though. Jeez, I just forgot what she called it. Abundance fund. There we go. She calls it her abundance fund. And that's how she's getting months ahead in her expenses. So, as you guys know, I have my parachute fund, which is serving as my income replacement emergency fund. And what I want to do is not so much focus on pre-tax. Again, I have a lot of different stuff that comes out, whether that be dealing with me or caretaking responsibilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, ideally, or at least budget, 5% of my take-home pay to go towards my parachute fund. Of course, the number is going to fluctuate depending on what my income is, but at least I know I have something consistently going to my parachute fund to where I don't have to necessarily think about it or hope that I have it in the end. I do have my emergency fund still here in variable savings, but that is for my buffer emergency fund. So if a bill comes in higher than expected or a surprise bill shows up, that's what that money's for. Not so much income replacement. All right. I hope that made sense. And if you guys can hear me again with my face freaking out like it is, feel free to ask questions down in the comments below and go check out Darlene's channel. Again, I'll leave it down in the description. She's amazing, and I love how she set up her whole entire budget based on percentages, which also influenced my part-time. Again, we'll see that next week. So, parachute fund got 5% of this $11.87. I just left off the change, and that was $60. So that's $60. And now we get to move down to variable savings. Again, most of these I update at the end of the month because they come out either on a weekly basis, in my case every Monday, or they come out towards the end of the month, whenever I think it's the 28th, whenever the 28th is, because every month at least has 28 days. So I will update these at the end of the month, same with care credit, same with emergency fund, same with Roth IRA contributions, same with travel, and now we're getting down to restuffing. So for the restuffing, minus the $60 I have from emergency fund, excuse me, I'll be restuffing a total of $140. And intentional spending, what I've done now is when I do this math, especially when it comes to my parachute fund and 5%, I leave off the change entirely, and that'll immediately go down here until intentional spending. Unless I have a cost that involves change, but as you guys know, I don't really include change in my budget. So, yeah. Intentional spending, we'll get the remaining $108. And then this 81 cents down here. And I even split this up, so the $8.81 will go into my account buffer. Of this 100, part of it will go to intentional spending. The other part is for cash purchases. In that case, it's my gas. I try to go save up for gas at least to go weekly, if not bi-weekly. It also depends on how much part-time work I do. 9 times out of 10, if I follow my regular schedule, no extra hours or anything, my gas can usually last me a week and some change. So I don't necessarily fill up that often, but I still like to have the budget or the number budgeted in my buffer anyway. Laundry, we do not have laundry currently in our rental. There was major flooding in the basement where laundry room was, and that was already high cost to adjust and fix, and getting the machines on top of that was just not gonna happen. So we just go to the laundromat. I try to budget for that for both going to the laundromat and anything like detergent and stuff like that, which I only have to buy like once a month or once every 2 months, but enough to cover that fare or those fares. And then the rest is my automatic savings withdrawals or ASPs, as you guys will see it. In my budget, that's $12 a week, and then yeah, the rest of is actually intentional spending. All right, I don't think I'm missing anything, so that is it for my full-time budget with me, and we will get to this lovely, beautiful mess called cash planning. So for me, what I do or end up doing, and you guys will actually be able to see December's. Nothing is set in stone. Again, what I try to do, at least, is to write the date, which is the month. I try to plan for the month, and I go based on binder sections, and then try to pick envelopes I know I want to put into. 9 times out of 10, this envelope section is ordered from highest to lowest priority as far as adding, and with pencil, usually, I go through and based on my $950 budgeted, I go through and try to put in what I think I can put into each of these envelopes first. And then when I actually get my check, I'm able to adjust these numbers and the totals I'm able to track on my trackers. Alright, again, this is December, so there are some exceptions. I'm not planning on funding as many challenges in December. And I do have a section down here for holiday bonus, which I don't know if we are or not getting. That's mostly why it's written all in pencil, because things can change, life happens. If it comes, great, that's great. If not, then so be it. It doesn't change any of this up here. So what I do is I take all my binders, list the envelopes, again, write in pencil what I think I could put into them, and the totals they would be, and then once my check comes, write in pen the numbers I decide to put into each envelope, or even sometimes I take out envelopes that end up not being a priority again, or something comes up to where I need to refund one envelope higher than the amount I budgeted, then I sometimes will just adjust and take from certain envelopes, or I will, and these are mostly with low priority envelopes, I will just not stuff them at all. Car, I am probably just going to keep these as maintenance, repairs, tax and tag, and emergency fund, because as you guys know, I recently had a car repair to where I emptied basically all of these. So I'm more focusing on rebuilding these. I don't have a set number, with the exception of tax and tag, because mine hit around $250 or less a year. So that's the only one with a number. The rest of them, I'm just trying to put money back into them. Care credit is also a hit or miss. This has to do with medical bills, visitations, prescriptions, all that jazz. I know I have 2 in January. One for my eye, post-surgery check-ins again, to make sure I'm fully cleared. And then the other is actually in December. Planning on it for being in December for my annual blood work checkups and whatnot. So care credit, I just try to put some money to on a constant basis if I can. If I can't, it's not that big of a deal for me, mostly because of how my insurance is set up. My co-pays are relatively low. So, and then these binders, adulting and home, these 2 are from my second check, full-time. So I don't even worry about those as far as what I budget for them. I usually just take whatever the next number is and whatever challenge I'm doing and write them down. And if I can make it, sure. If not, that's fine. The only one that will be on multiple different checks is my emergency fund. And again, that's split between my parachute fund and my rainy day fund, full and part-time. There's always going to be a contribution to emergency fund. So this is what it will look like before I throw all my thoughts and numbers onto it. And turning back, this is what it looks like after. So I didn't think I was going to be able to explain this with all of this going on. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best as possible. So as you can see here, I have my pencil numbers, so what I thought I was going to be able to do, and I thought I was going to have to skip my low priority envelopes, but turns out I didn't have to. So we're going to cash stuff, at least my sinking funds and car binder. Care credit. I know I already cashed stuff for the health and medical challenge I have going on, which is the Sloth Savings Challenge by Lisa Grateful Me. I'll leave her channel down in the description below. And that just got to change when I couldn't fit into my other envelopes. So that wasn't not a specific number I'm going towards as far as that challenge is concerned. And then do at least the full-time part of my emergency fund. And again, full-time going to my parachute fund, which is my income replacement fund, at least 5%. And really 5% of this number was $59.35, but I rounded it up to 60. Okay. So I'm going to move all of this, put that over there real quick, and get into cash stuffing part. So we'll start with my sinking funds. I also have care credit in here, so I'm going to take all of this money out and see where denominations have separated themselves. All right, so yeah, this half is for care credit. And we'll just focus on my sinking funds. So in sinking funds in total, it should be $50. So we have 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All right, and since I'm left-handed, makes more sense for it to go to my left. Sometimes I forget that. I don't know why. When setting things up, I guess I'm so used to watching people record, and sometimes the videos are in reverse of what you're seeing it. I'm like, oh, it should be on my left. And it's like, no, girl, you're left-handed. It needs to be on this side for you. All right, and these $4, as you can tell, the difference in bills, these are for my long-term savings, in this case, my low priority envelopes. So I can put that down there until we get there. So pet care and insurance. Pet care is getting $15. And more than likely I'll condense off camera because that's usually where I end up making mistakes and not trying to keep up with it on camera right now. All right, so in pet care, this covers things like shampoo, replacement collars, replacement leashes, dog food, all that jazz. We have $20, $30, $35, $40. And again, I will come back through my binder and cash condense all of these. All right, and insurance. Insurance is getting $6. I don't remember if I mentioned this in previous videos, but I am currently not trying to pay my dog's insurance on a yearly basis. The extra $20 to $24 I have to pay for convenience fees every year is not hurting me currently. So I'm not too concerned with getting that ahead. However, I do have to save up the $1,000 deductible for the insurance. So that's what this savings is. All right, and currently in pet insurance, towards that $1,000 deductible, we have 50, 70, 80, 85, excuse me, 87, 89, 90. It's $90. Close to being 10% there. All right, and pet health, this is split up into different sections. I have his annual vet visit that I save for in here, as well as his prescriptions. I've gotten his prescription payments on a yearly basis. And I try to save around $400 for that. And sometimes there's a discount, so sometimes it's below that. But just to account for fluctuations in price and whatnot. So we have $15 going into here. And I think I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to put $5 in medications, again, to save up for the $400, and then put $10 for his actual vet appointment. So for his vet appointment, we have $30 thus far, and usually it hits around 100, 115, and it's not until July of next year, so I have some time. All right, and then pharmacy that I just put the $5 in has $15 out of the $400 goal. And then I also have a pet emergency fund. I know I'm saving up the deductible for pet insurance, but this is separate just in case I fall short anywhere, any of his envelopes. He has an emergency visit to pay any co-pays or out-of-pocket costs I have up front. Trying to save up for that. So it'd be $1,000 for insurance. I'm trying to get his pet insurance back up to, excuse me, Lord. His pet insurance deductible is $1,000. Pet emergency fund, I'm trying to get back up to $500, and then eventually grow to $1,000. All right. His emergency fund in particular is getting $5. I just have to use this $5 in the meantime and just switch out the type of bills later. And I'm going to cash condense this anyway because it ends up being $20. So I'll just change that later. All right. And then once I cash condense, I go back and fill in my trackers as well. Holidays in general is getting skipped because Christmas is coming up and I have already saved for that, so skipping that. Mom is not getting anything this time, but I do want to share a challenge. This was a birthday freebie I received from Claudine at Foxy Finances, and you can go on her channel right here and see how this is played, but basically played it between my mom and I eventually, once I turn my attention back to funding like birthdays and stuff like that, I owe my mom $20 in her birthday envelope section, and I owe myself $18. So again, this birthday boxes challenge is from Claudia at Foxy Finances, and her channel will be down in the description. But mom is not getting funded today. All right, and now for low priority envelopes. Coaching and or gym costs in general is getting $1. I usually don't count these because all of them are at least $3 or $4. So continuing education, which is the one I kind of shifted and is new for me. This is for paying for anything like certifications, classes I want to take, courses, any continuing education modules or whatever. That's what this is for, so I got $1. Electronics, I basically got an updated laptop and just took a cutout from the box that came in and put it in front of my envelope. I think it's cute, but anyway. That is getting $1, if I can pick it up. And then celebrations. This is for things like, I've had a lot of weddings happen recently. But any weddings, birthdays, money is going to be coming out of here and another envelope I have for like Secret Santa at work and stuff. So that's what this is building up towards. That gets $1. All right, and then annual memberships and subscriptions. This is to cover any memberships I may need, professional ones or not, in the future. For right now, I just have my subscription to Sam's Club / Walmart, owned by the same people. Anyway, that's about $110 a year, but I usually say about $120 to have rollover to start for the next year. And that's getting the $5. So right now it has $10. And I just paid it, believe, last month. It's November. So end of September, beginning of October. So saving up for next year. All right. And now to care credit, we're going to be adding $20, $25, $30, $31. And again, in total it was $40, but I already put in the $9 for the slot challenge. That's in the back. And I only update that one on a monthly basis, so nothing much to see there. So care credit, I have it split into 2 parts. Excuse me. So I have this money in the front. This is for my actual doctor's appointments. And then I have money in the back as for personal hygiene. So going to get lotion, soaps, face scrubs. I do have very sensitive skin, so most of those things are brands that I like to use and don't break me out. So I save up for those type of trips. But I haven't had to make one lately, so I think I'm just going to put into my doctor's visits, because I know those are coming up. So this envelope was supposed to get $25, so I'm going to put the entire $25 here. Oh, yep, here into the doctor visits portion. And now it has $50, $70, $90, $95, $100. Cash condensing later. Alright, and then this envelope is, long story short, is for my specialist visits. In this case, surgery I had in my eye counts as a specialist visit. Anything I have to do with my scanning counts as specialty visit. Anything that's not routine, basically, as part of chronic illness care, comes from this envelope. So this envelope is getting $6. It also covers prescriptions that I get from going to these specialists as well. And I have $200 in the actual visits, which will cover my next one at least. So I think I'm going to put into prescriptions, because those are continuing costs I'm still paying right now. Let's see. So in RX, we have $20, $40, $44. Yeah, okay, that's what I was doing. So the $6 will go in here. Alright, so that's 20, 40, 45, 47, 49, 50. $50 in prescriptions. Alright, and again, the Sleepy Sloth Challenge by Lisa Grateful Me, channel will be down in the description. I am saving this mostly to save up my out-of-pocket costs for insurance, which is $2,500. Which obviously this challenge saves $4,200. So once I get to the $2,500 out-of-pocket, I'll also be saving for future health expenses. Any major surgeries, which really wiped out my medical savings funds this year, I'm trying to save up for those as much as I possibly can, and or if there are new treatments out there or operations that come up as options for me and treating chronic illnesses. Alright, so, oh, sorry, I forgot to count it. My bad, guys. Oops. So thus far in this challenge, we have 100, can't count today, 200, these are sticking together, 100, 200, 50, 52, 54, so $254 in here. Alright, so that is my sinking funds binder. Next, we are going to do my car binder, which is going to be very quick because most of these are empty and I'm just refilling them at this point. Alright, so going into car, this should be $50 as well. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. And my one long-term $5 bill. Alright, so car maintenance. This includes general maintenance, replacing windshield wipers, any type of fluids may or may not need, coolant, all that jazz come out here. Mileage maintenance, this is when I actually go to the physical dealership for my vehicle to get work done. I try to do this every couple of years in order to keep up a, I guess, repair history for my car, on top of any discounts I may get for future repairs for keeping up with maintenance. So that's what this envelope is for. And each of them is getting $5. A lot of these are actually getting $5 each. So maintenance is $5. Mileage maintenance or dealership maintenance is also $5. Hold on. to double check it's still recording because sometimes storage gets full immediately and cuts off the video and I don't notice. Alright, and so this section is repairs. As you guys know, repairs used to be a long-term envelope in the back, but I have moved it up since my recent car repair. It's basically taught me I need to make this more of a priority. So this repair section is for major repairs, system repairs, electric repairs, engine, tires and brakes, all those bigger things to save for. And tires and brakes I do have as a separate section because I feel as though I'm going to need these before I actually need a major system replacement, but you never know. So I'm going to match these envelopes as much as possible as far as contributions are concerned. So major repairs is getting $5, and so is tires and brakes. Alright, and again, we'll fill in my trackers later. Payments, I don't have any car payments. Payments is basically for my property taxes that we have in the state for vehicles. And this is the one I'm trying to get to $250, so I'm going to go ahead and add $25. Yep, $25, and that's all it has right now for there. And then car emergency. I just bundled this with my car deductible. I am saving for my car deductible in my fall manifest savings binder, which you guys will see in my part-time stuffings. So right now all the money in here is going towards my emergency fund for my car on top of the interest for this account in my high yield savings. So this is getting $5. It has $5 in there currently, so that'll be $10. It'll be a little bit more than this because again, interest accrues every month, so the interest from the end of October will reflect in the account soon. So I'll be adding that and adjusting that as well. Okay, that's it for my car binder. And now for my flower binder, emergency fund binder. This has both my challenges for my rainy day fund as well as challenges I'm using for my income replacement or parachute fund. Alright, and most of these challenges in here are from Maddie at Floating Funds. Her channel will be down in the description below. I also have, flipping through, also have challenges from the Humble Budgeter. Her channel will be down in the description below. And this monthly challenge, this monthly challenge I got from Budgets by Valerie. It's an Etsy shop. I don't know if she has a YouTube channel. I don't think she does. But I'll leave her Etsy shop down in the description below as well. And these are scratch-offs. Again, Maggie at Floating Funds. Honestly, she probably sponsored this binder, if not 75% of it. From challenges I ordered from her shop and freebies from her shop, as well as this freebie I got from Savings with Tracy. And these scratch-offs I use for my rainy day fund. And these major or larger challenges I'm using for income replacement. Alright, so let's see here. I had $60. It's 50, 60. $60 going into this fund, at least from my part-time. And I believe I had cards. So what I do with this challenge is I pull cards, I roll a dice, usually, and pull the amount of cards that the dice rolls. In this case, it was 4. And let's see if we can find these items. I'm gonna scoop that up a little bit. So I have the garden rake, garden boots, garden apron. Then this card says get healthy. It's time to fertilize the flowers. Grab some fertilizer. Double your last card. Okay, so I guess I'll do it in the order that I pulled the cards out. My last card would be the garden apron. So whatever the garden apron is, we're going to try to double it. Okay. So let's find these things first. And I also got the extension pack, by the way, for her challenge, but I'm not starting on that yet until I complete the main challenge first. Okay, garden utensils. Duh, Haley. let's see. So I have the garden rake that is 23, garden boots are 28. The apron is 30, but we're doubling that, so that's 60. That working out was very uncanny. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and cover the apron and doubling the apron, since it's like really the exact number that I needed. And I'll save these 2 cards for next time, so I know whatever 60% of my full time is take home, I need it to cover at least $51 to cover the boots and rake. And if it goes above that, I'll probably put the extra funds here in wrapping supplies or Plinko, or even just save it in the front to add to next time. And that's an option too. Anyway, I'm going to put these 2 cards back in the front so I can cover them next time, or hopefully get to them next time. And then these 2 cards are going to count as done. So I'll put them in the front and replace them later. Oh my gosh, if I can get them in the pocket. There we go. Alright, and then your pencils. We're going to add the $50, $60 here. Alright, and I'm trying not to count this challenge, so I don't know how much I've saved thus far. It's just going. And I'll count it up at the end when I run out of cards. And see how much that is. So that is basically it for my cash stuffing of my binders. I know I didn't go through my whole entire cash planning process with you guys in real time, but if you have any questions on what I explained, again, please leave them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. I hope you guys have a blessed evening night wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you guys next time for my part-time budget with me. The cash planning part is probably just not going to happen, and that's okay. But at least with the budget with me and actually playing the games for my cash stuffing. Alright, see you guys later.